How did you, like, as you were developing your style, like, how did you keep so steadfast in that? Because I think especially as like entrepreneurs, even like apart from style, just thinking about like more broadly business, like it's so easy for us to like fall into what other people are doing because we see what other people are doing
Right.
and they're seeing success. We see, Allie does this. I'm like, oh, that worked. I should do that too.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, how do you maintain that level of steadfastness?
Yeah. I think with back to the, my method, right? That's
Yeah.
all I do. It's all I've done for years. I noticed this deep transformation that would come after it. And I became just obsessed with doing more of that. And I knew like these 3 steps, this is all I want to do.
Yeah.
Of course, I have people reaching out saying, I have a photo shoot coming up, or can you style me for this event? Or, and a lot of other stylists do that whole on their website, they offer 20 services,
Yeah.
packing, all these things. On mine, I only offer one service,
Yeah.
one-on-one. And I'm just madly obsessed with knowing that these 3 steps give you the quickest, best transformation on the market. And it happens quickly and it can't not work. That's why I love it. And so I know so many women are trying to figure out there. And in the beginning in 2020, of course, I was looking at every other stylist and feeling this, I was locked up in COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of on unemployment, not making any money. So I was thinking like, what do I need to be doing? And so, and of course, it could have been easy to like look at other stylists and just copy what they're doing. But I have stayed just so with the blinders on, knowing that this is my magic. I'm not going any other direction. And I feel like it was the best decision I've ever made for myself.
Yeah.
Because it feels so good. When I'm in that zone with the client, time collapses. I'm high. Like it's like this is my zone and I want more of that.
I love that.
And I want that for everybody.
Well, I think that's such a reminder too for business owners listening. Like, it's so easy for us to compare ourselves to other people, right? Like, especially online with what we have access to. This person builds a business like this and they've been successful. They made their first million in 1 minute. Like, go them. Like, we see all of these things kind of happen. And it's easy for us to kind of get swept in. So I think that's why those blinders are so important.
Blinders. And so for instance, blinders, I don't know if this would help anyone in your audience. For me, I do not follow any other stylists.
Yeah.
I follow them, but I mute them. I don't want to see what they're doing. I don't want to see where they're going. I want nothing. It just distracts me. I only want to see, other accounts or anything that inspires me or helps me. So I think that's a great suggestion. If you're constantly feeling, that you're triggered every time, a story comes up of someone who's, maybe further ahead of you or doing something different that you want to do, just mute them.
Yeah.
You can be friends with them. I'm friends with so many stylists. They're dear friends and I love them, but it doesn't serve me to see what they're doing every day.
Yeah.
Because I'm creating what works for me and what's authentic to me. And I don't need any outside noise coming in and disrupting my energy.
Yeah. I
like
love that.
Protect your energy in your industry or niche, whatever that may be.
No, that's awesome advice because I think that's something so easy that people
It's like triggered and then you're like, oh, I'm not going to show up on stories now because she did it better than me
Yes. Or like that, how did that person get that opportunity? And like, that's somebody I would have loved to do that with. Like, it's so easy to get like in comparison. So just thinking back to like early Chellie, like as you were building this business, like you've worked corporate, you're like in COVID, like you're building this business up. Like, how did your community kind of help you in building your business?
Yeah. I mean, my network and my community is everything.
Yeah.
I work off referral pretty much solely. So Chicago being my home base, I really just through word of mouth, I would get the testimonials and then share and ask them to share. Who do you know? And I would just really, and then connecting with different groups of women. I'm just such a I guess girl's girl, woman's woman. And I just love, making women feel their best. And then I'm connecting people all the time, similar to you. You're such a connector and you're the community expert. And I know I moved to LA and I didn't know, I mean, I knew I had a pocket of friends,
Yeah.
but I moved there literally just me and my dog.
Yeah.
I had no business there. And I took the leap and I landed and it took off. And I started just, who do you know in LA? Who would be a friend of mine?
Yeah.
Who would be a great potential client? And then I'm starting to, especially even with stylists, like I'm hosting stylist dinners and bringing together stylists. And I learned this from Chris and just kind of creating my own community of friends and all female in LA.
Yeah.
And that's growing, you know, my network is growing really fast and my socials are growing fast because I'm just sharing what I'm doing more.
Yeah.
But it is still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And actually, like, you're someone, I just like a little accolade for you, but like, you're someone who does a really good job of being like, hey, could you introduce me to this person?
Yes.
Like, I would love to meet this person. Yeah. Like, you know, like, do you have a connection there that you'd be like, and I think people get scared to do that kind of stuff.
For sure.
But I think like and then you've made some amazing friends
and I
out
get
of it.
these pings, you know, all of mine come as like deep and I follow my pings.
Yeah.
Like if I get a ping of, oh, I'm attracted to what she's doing here. I'd love to learn more from her. You know, and I wish I had more Northern Star mentors in my industry.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's no one that I'm shooting for, but in other industries, I'm still trying to learn. And I feel like I'm just beginning and starting my business. Every day is like I'm wanting to soak up more and learn and connect with so many other women.
Yeah.
And I just like, yeah, connecting on Instagram now and DMing people. If you're really, you know, just if you don't ask, the answer's no. Like
Totally.
you've gotta just go for it. And I get the ping and I'm like, you know what? I feel it's something about her or that situation. I'm gonna ask for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious for you because this is something that like I've done and it's worked and grown my business, but I don't think it's like the natural thing people think of is, you know, you connecting with your competitors. And I'm doing competition like in air quotes because I actually like don't really believe in competition because it's like, and I know you don't either, because there's like enough for all of us to eat and all of us attract different people and different things and there's different like juice out there. But you know, for you, you're bringing these people together who could be like competitors.
Yeah.
How has that been helpful for you?
It's been helpful in that my goal with it is that I'm going to be, like Chris says, when the tides rise, we all rise.
Yeah.
So I know our industry is about to take off.
Yeah.
It is growing so fast and I know I'm staying in my lane doing my magic, but all the other stylists that are, you know, up and coming ish, I want them, the better they do, the better I do.
Yes.
Our industry, there's no standard in our industry. And it is one of those industries that feels, I'd say similar to like makeup artists or PR where like everything, nobody wants to share their secrets. Like I want to share all that I'm doing, all that I've, you know, built and created. And I want to share it with other stylists so that they can do better.
Yeah.
They can charge what they're worth. Because oftentimes that's the one issue. So many stylists are not charging what they deserve to charge. And I'm the biggest proponent of, you know, do the work. Obviously, I've done the work to be able to charge what I charge. And so I want every other stylist or whomever to do the same. So I want us to all come together and change the industry. And I feel like we have a lot of potential in the next few years. And I want us to kind of create just a place where we can share more and we can help one another out. And I'm, you know, in different markets, I'm hiring stylists to kind of assist in different markets. So I'm always trying to, you know, and need help. And my business is growing so fast that I'm going to need help in ultimately every big market.
Yeah.
And so there's no reason why, you know, another stylist couldn't work for me and learn from me.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I love that perspective. And that's like definitely something we share because it's like, you know, I've told this story before on my podcast, but we befriended this girl who owned an agency, like a social media agency. And I was a little like, why would she want to be our friend? Like she's a little farther ahead in business than like a lot farther ahead in business. And so we took her out for lunch. We had a great chat. She was like, can we hang out again? We were like, okay. We became friends over a number of years. And then suddenly one day she like messages us and she's like, just to let you know, I'm going to close my agency down. I don't like this anymore. And I'd love to give you all of my clients. And it was a total like shock to us. And I was like, oh, like, do you want money for these clients? And she's like, wouldn't feel right about selling them.
Wow.
Just want them in good hands. Yeah. Totally couldn't have predicted it. And it was like some of those clients are still some of our favorite clients today. And she went on to do a whole bunch of other stuff and she's been doing really great and we still support her and love her. But, and she's a business friend still, even though she's not an entrepreneur anymore. But like, it was amazing.
That's huge.
But like that same potential there, right? And just from networking like in your own industry.
Yes. And there's just not, I don't know a lot of stylists. So I'm trying to get to know them and connect. And I think there are a lot of potential up and coming ones. And I get DMs every week of, I want to have coffee with you or I want to learn from you. And, and eventually maybe one day I'll do some coaching, but I'm not there yet. Like I'm still so in my magic and having the best time creating. And then eventually I'll help others create what they want to as well in the future.
So what would you say to someone who's listening to this and they're like, okay, like I'm building my business. It's going okay, but I don't have like a good community. And like, maybe I moved to a new city or I'm starting a new industry. Like, what would you tell people to focus on?
Focus on, asking friends for referrals. So when I moved to LA, I reached out to all of my big connectors in Chicago who knew me, who I knew had networks around the country. Yeah. And I said, who do you know in LA that I would connect with and be friends with? And I didn't really ask for business necessarily, but I know it will turn into business. Love that. I'm just like, I'm looking for friends. I'm looking for community. And then they literally connect us via text or email and say, hey, so-and-so, Chellee's moving to LA. You've got to meet her. Yeah. And I've met some of my best friends that way. Wow. I think it's such a great way. And you have to ask though. Yes. You have to say, who do you know in LA or wherever you're at? Yeah. That would be a good connection for me.
And it sounds like too that you don't make it focus on the ask business. Is not a business ask.
Yeah. Just to get to know, like just be like, I don't know a lot of people. I'm moving. I just want to connect. Right? Grab coffee, grab a drink. Yeah. Right? We're like-minded. Would we connect? Yes. Okay. And just tee it up.
I love that because I think that's actually like how a lot of amazing business relationships are formed. Like where me and Allie and Tori were actually talking about that earlier today about how like, people like to do business with people they like. And so friendship is like often the underpinning of a lot of really good business relationships.
Yeah. And then I recently got invited to some women's dinner groups. There's this one group in LA and a friend of mine invited me to a dinner party at this house. And it is the best group of women in LA. Wow. And I got invited and now I'm in the group now. But I leave these dinners and it's sort of like leaving the mastermind when you meet all these entrepreneurs and they're all female and they're all in different industries and creating beautiful things. So it's like getting in with different groups that are hosting, intimate events where you could connect deeper with women.
Well, I love that because I think there's like the balance of one, like if you don't see the community, you can kind of create it for yourself.
Yes, create it for yourself.
But two, it sounds like you've had to be really bold in building community and having to like, because it's one thing to get a bunch of introductions and be like, oh, like, do you know this person? Do you know that person? But more so like the boldness of like having to go meet strangers for coffee.
Yeah, and taking the action. And trust me, I don't want to leave my house. Like to go to the dinner it was on Monday, it was on the 11th, this dinner, and I didn't want to go because I was working and I didn't want to leave. I'm like, Chellie, you've got to get yourself out. And this is an incredible group. And I went and I got home at 10:30 past my bedtime. Yeah. And I was lit up by the women that I got to meet and learning about their businesses. And every time I go, there's new connections. Yeah. And so, I got a new client from it. You just don't know who's going to, so getting out and about also.
Yeah, I've been surprised. You go to something and you have no idea who you're going to meet, who could end up being a business changing person.
Yeah. Or your new best friend or your new, I'm very open. Yeah. To connections.
I love that because that's so important because I think like, especially when you're building a business that's like based on referral, there has to be like, you have to have a level of openness to like your surroundings that like referrals could really come from anywhere.
You never, yeah. I mean, I went on a first date with a guy. Should I tell you this when I went on a first date? I was set up with a matchmaker. A matchmaker set me up with one of her clients. He came in the restaurant. I'm like, he's not for me. He's wonderful. He was so interested in my business. So I shared everything about it. Afterwards, I said, it was really nice meeting you, but you're not it. In the best way. Like not, like I just don't feel it. I didn't want to waste his time.
Yeah,
and he's like, I get it. Great. A week later, I get a call and he's like, I have a client for you. And I jumped on a call with her the next day. She booked that day. Turns out he met her through another matchmaker 3 days after meeting me.
So you go on a date with this girl and he's like, your hair, your
I don't know
good.
How,
okay.
I don't know exactly but she lost 50 pounds and her clothes, somehow it came up.
Yes. And they're together?
They're madly in love. And I've been to her, they live 6 minutes apart in Scottsdale. So she flew me and my team out to do her edit session. And she told me then that she was dating him. I didn't ask him if it was his ex-girlfriend or who she was. And she said, I'm dating Scott. We're madly in love. And I'm so grateful just for this one date. Look what happened.
Oh, that's crazy.
I met this incredible, and this client I'll work with her probably the rest of her life.
Wow.
Like and I changed her life and her style. She looks 20 years younger after working with me. And I'm madly in love with her. So it's like and she's so happy with him. So I'm like, the universe brought us together for that, to introduce me to.
That is the craziest story I've ever heard.
So I literally was like, I'm going on this date. Worst case, I have a new friend. Best case, I have a new partner. And I got a client out of it.
I'm going to tell you, there are worse cases that come from dates than making friends. But
I've never had.
You're so high vibe that
I'm like, he was great. I'm like, we're going to be friends. And then literally, and I know he'll refer me more people too. And she will too. So it's just, and they're just such great people.
That's
and I'm
amazing.
like, I can't believe I get, so I just stay open to any possibility. You never know
totally
where the next client's coming from.
It could be Bumble.
It could be. Exactly. I'm going to go Bumble here in a little bit. You never know. I may meet my next client.
I'm obsessed. So, you know what? It's funny though. I was one time on a flight and I got a referral from the flight. Like me and this guy got talking about marketing, and then he was like, I have a client for you.
Right. That's what, speaking of airport dressing.
Yes.
Ladies, get it together. No more homeless sweats at the airport. It's not sexy.
No, stop.
You need to dress to attract that. Again, if you're single, your partner may be at the airport. Your next client, you never know who you're going to meet at the airport.
Yeah.
It's such a melting pot. So just be ready for that potential opportunity.
But do you ever feel like you don't want to talk to strangers?
Yeah, most of the time they don't approach me. Like men, I feel like I'm 5'10" and I'm a little intimidating sometimes. So I don't get approached a lot.
It's probably because you're 45 and you look like you're 17. So I think people are just trying to figure out like what the situation is.
So I feel like I think people look at me, but they're not approaching me often.
Because I do not dress up that much in my regular life. But like I certainly don't dress up for the airport because I don't want to actually talk to people.
You don't want people to talk to you.
And I'm approachable. Like people, it's the high cheekbones. People like really just want to come talk to me.
There's lots of trust in those cheekbones.
Lots of trust.
Yeah, and I think it's more about just moving through, even on the airplane, it just feel, even the way the stewardesses treat you, the way the pilot looks at you, and the way people move around you. It's like I got upgraded once because the guy at a hotel, he's like, I love your outfit. I'm obsessed. And he literally upgraded me to a suite at the hotel.
Wow.
And we were talking fashion, and it opens doors.
Yeah. I love that.
And it's not my rule. I didn't make this up. It's
the universe.
The universe. And we've got to play the game. So we got to get in the game.
Oh, I love it.
Get dressed.
Just thinking, Chellie, is like my final question for you. Like if somebody is really struggling, like say like they just do not see like
any hope.
Yeah, like they're wearing the sweats, they don't see the connection between the way that they look and really like their results in their business or anything like that. Like, what would you tell them to kind of reinstill some of that?
I'd start with the process of just editing anything that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Then wear that outfit. Don't save it for a special occasion. Wear that outfit that you love. And I want you to feel the way your day, you're going to move differently and you're going to see what comes to you. Compliments, people paying for your Starbucks, stuff, just the universe is listening. When you say, I love my outfit, I love myself, I'm worthy of all of this, the universe is going to deliver. And then it'll reinforce you doing it again the next day. Okay, what's my next best outfit? How can I feel better today by getting dressed? And then it's those habits, it's habit stacking. Yeah. It's gonna snowball, and soon it's gonna be your new normal. You eventually will get to a place where my clients are known as, they never were known as stylish by any means until afterwards. Literally, they're known as the most stylish lawyer in Chicago, the most stylish in their entire company. And it's just, you will be known, it's your identity. Yeah. And you can choose every day to work on it, or you can choose to give up and wear sweats every day. But every day, my goal is that you can choose better. It's just like choosing better thoughts. It's the same thing. Choose a better, pair of pants that fit you, or a better top, and put it together in a different way that feels like you. And then watch how the universe responds.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Well, Chellie, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I always love talking to you. I could talk to you for 100 hours. You are just so high energy and high vibe, and you have like the best, like truly energy around things. Like even the fact that you're like, could have went on a date and got a friend. I'm like, could have went on a date and got murdered. Like you are so high vibe. But where can people find you and how can they work with you?
I hang out mostly on the gram.
Yeah. Or Bumble.
Or Bumble. If you're single, at Chellie Carlson, and it's Chellie with a C.
Yeah.
C to the HELLIE. And my website, obviously. And, I'm obsessed with my membership. I have women all over the world, and it's my passion.
Sell the membership.
I love the membership. It's $55 a month. You get 5 style boards. I'm showing you how every month you can up-level your style. And ultimately, it's not about buying these links. Of course, you can shop them. It's about taking these pieces you see and how I've styled them and recreating your own look and just rocking it. Every month, they're different by the season. This month, we've got your best holiday looks. We have, how to style black and brown together. It's more, education, inspiration than anything. And I'm obsessed.
And they get to learn from you, which is the best.
Yeah. And we have a monthly Zoom call. You can ask me any question. So it's basically like you've got me in your pocket every month for $55 a month.
Oh my gosh, a dream. Well, I will link all of that in the show notes. Chellie, this was so fun. And I hope that anyone who is thinking about their style, thinking about what's next for them, goes and works and learns from Chellie, because you're the best. Can't wait to see what's next for you.
Go team.
Thanks so much for listening to Community with me, Christina Bartold, and I'm just so excited to continue the conversations. If you're looking to grow your community and learn more about social, join us at thesocialbusinessclub.ca and use the code podcast to get your first month for $1. Share this episode with your friends and on social, or leave a review. It means the world.